Hey YouTube, Papa Jason with Life with Paul. Paul's laying over on the floor. He's kind of being in trouble because he's being a veg dog today. He's wanting a treat for Mama, and she's not getting it at the moment. Anyway, I thought I'd do a video today, and today we're going to do 5 facts about the Cane Corso. Some of these you may know, some of them you may not. They are not secrets, but maybe not well known if you haven't investigated the breed. There are things that maybe you got to consider if you're thinking about getting one before you get one. With that being said, I hope it'll help. Maybe learn something. Maybe we can educate each other. Fact 1 is the history of the Cane Corso. The Cane Corso is one of the few dogs that dates back thousands of years. They can be traced back to ancient Roman days, and they were discovered when Rome invaded Greece. They had a massive dog there that they used to guard their farms with and to chase off predators and also to hunt with. Well, the Romans liked them so much that they took some of them and took them back home to Rome. And then they bred those with dogs that they had. Well, they come up with another breed of dog, and it was called I can't read it. I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, when they invaded Italy, they used those dogs for war. They also used those dogs in their Colosseum, in their public games that they would do. Basically, the dogs would fight other apex predators like lions and bears. Well, when they invaded Italy, they used them for war. They would strap flaming barrels of hot oil to them and have them charge into enemy armies. And that would be a sight that I would not personally want to see. I don't know about you. After that, the Italians saw them and they fell in love with them. Well, they got some of them and they bred them with their Mastiff dogs that they had at the time. And that came out with the breed of dog that we know as the Cane Corso today. They used them for guarding their flocks, which were mainly sheep and lambs. They also used them for hunting. They used them for guarding the farm against apex predators. But they also used them as family dogs. They would guard and bond with the family and would stay in the house a lot of times with the family. After the Second World War and their crop sharing adventure died, the breed almost went extinct. There was one guy in Italy that was credited with saving the breed, and he went around and found all of the dogs remaining that he could find, and he bred them together to increase the numbers. Some Americans came over, they fell in love with the breed, and then in the 1980s, they made their way, due to those two guys, into America. They did a little crossbreeding or whatever, and that's mainly between the Italian breed and the American breed. That's the Cane Corso we know today. Like my dog Paul, his lineage is traced back to the Italian breed. The difference is that the American breed, a lot of them are bigger because they bred them with Great Danes and dogs like that. And some of them are smaller because they wanted them smaller for the AKC stuff. And those were bred with boxers. We'll get into the boxer part a little bit later. So that has led to the Cane Corso that we know and we see today. Fact number 2 is their intelligence. From a personal standpoint, Paul is the most intelligent dog I have ever interacted with. And I'm not saying that's just Paul, I'm saying that's his breed. The Cane Corso is, in list and in studies, they are listed amongst the highest intelligent dogs. I'm not saying they're the most intelligent, that's up for debate. I'm not going to have that debate. But this, from experience, I know. When Paul was less than a year old, I brought him home from church one day where I socialized him, and I started his scent training to alert on low blood sugar. I started the scent training, and we worked on it for maybe 15 minutes. 2 days later, he alerted because my sugar was low. That's how intelligent this breed is. It took him 15 minutes to get the idea of what I wanted. Most of the time with other breeds I've watched training videos, it takes months and months and months. With him, 15 minutes. That was all it took. The downside to their intelligence is it takes a strong and consistent leader to train them and let them know you are the one in charge, and you are the one that they have to listen to and mind. If you don't do that, they will think that they have to be in charge, and they will think for themselves, and that's when they get in trouble because they don't know what you want and expect. They need a strong, consistent leader, not an alpha. Don't try that with these dogs. That will end up badly for you. Fact number 3 is their lifespan. I'm going to incorporate health into this as one thing. Their lifespan is, they're expected to live between 10 and 12 years. Some have lived to 15 and 17 years. Others, not even 10. So a lot of that is dependent upon their genetics, their food, their energy level, their exercise. There's a lot of factors in that. With their health, they are prone for a few things because they are a large breed dog. The number one thing that they're prone for is hip dysplasia. When they're puppies, you can't run them too much. You can't let them climb stairs. You can't let them jump too much because it separates their hip joints because their growth plates are open. Well, once that hip joint separates, when their hip joints close, it stays that way, and it's very painful for them. They won't walk, run right, or anything like that, and it will be very painful for the rest of their lives. The other thing they are prone for, I don't know the technical name, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a vet, is bloat. Basically, the easiest way to explain that is when the stomach turns over and twists, and then no food or anything can get in or out, and it cuts off the blood supply. They die rather quickly with bloat. So the way to combat bloat is to not let them eat too much, make sure they exercise, but not let them have any strenuous activity right before or right after eating. It's almost like our rule when we're kids about swimming after eating, except this one's for real. There is some issues that some lineages have had with epilepsy. That's where the boxer comes in. If there is boxer in their lineage, they can have epilepsy because that's where the epilepsy comes from, is the boxer. If there is no boxer in their lineage, you do not have to worry about that so much because it only comes from the boxer line. They are also prone for having cherry eye. Cherry eye is not dangerous. It's not painful. It's just a nuisance. It's where the tear gland pops out and then doesn't go back in. Paul has had his pop out a few times, but his luckily has gone back in, and we haven't had to worry about that. The cure for that is kind of simple, but it's expensive. It's surgery, and what they do is they remove the tear gland. Like I said, it's not bothersome to them. It's just a nuisance, and for us, it's not pleasant to look at. With their health, that's about it, really, that you really have to look out for. Like any dog, they can get cancers, they can get other things like that, but that's any dog. Fact number 4 is their loyalty. These dogs are loyal beyond any other dog I've seen and researched, apart from the Neapolitan Mastiff. The Neapolitan Mastiff is very similar to them, except for bigger, because they're both related. The two dogs that have come from the ancient Roman dogs lineage is the Cane Corso and the Neapolitan Mastiff. They are very closely related. I kind of got off there, but thought I needed to explain it. But their loyalty is, these dogs tend to bond and connect with one, maybe two people. That is their person. And once they connect to that person, they stick to you like Velcro. If you walk into another room, they're with you. If you go to the bathroom, they're either in there with you or right outside the door. Mine tries to peek under the door with his foot hanging under the door. It's kind of funny. The bonus with their loyalty is they will die defending you. It doesn't matter what comes up, they will get themselves between you and that threat, and they will die to defend you. When I take Paul out potty in the mornings, if it's about the time that the mailman's coming down the road, he stops a couple houses down at the mailboxes. Well, Paul spots him, and he comes running to me. And he keeps himself between me and that mailman's car. That's the kind of loyalty that they show. They will protect you at all costs, no matter what. But that also makes it hard for them, like I said in another video, it's a lifelong loyalty. So their bond is to you like no other person. So if something happens where you have to rehome them, they will not bond with anybody else the way they bonded with you. Studies and scientists have shown that Cane Corsos can recognize faces. Some dogs don't, so they say, and they recognize you by sounds or smells. The Cane Corso recognizes your face. So even when months go by and they see your face, they know who you are. That can be good, or if it's a bad experience, it could be bad. But that's how deep a Cane Corso's loyalty runs. It's part of who they are. It's part of their DNA. We're on number 5. If I can read it. Oh, Cane Corso's bite force. The studies have shown that a Cane Corso's bite force is at 700 pounds per square inch. 700 psi. That breaks bones. That can devastate body structures. A lion's PSI on their bite force is 691. Their bite force is stronger than a lion's. Think about that for a minute. I did not get one because of his bite force. I picked out this breed for me because of their intelligence. That being said, a bite force like that is just beyond scary. Society talks about pit bulls, a pit bull's bite force, how they can bite and latch on and all that. A pit bull's bite force is 243. His is 700. It's scary how much force that is. And it's not because they are big and strong. They're built like a tank. But it's their bite force strength comes from the shape of their head. It's because the muscles run through the head, and it's because of the shape and the angles of his head helps the muscles to operate more. And his head and his mouth lets the muscles contract more easily. That is the reason his bite force is so strong. That is the second strongest out of all dogs. The one that has a stronger bite force than him is the Kangal. I don't know much about them except for I don't want to get bit by one. That bite force, that's something you got to watch out for, and you got to keep in mind if you want to get one of these, because you have to buy toys that are like indestructible so he can destroy them. Regular toys, you don't want to get him because, I say him because I have a male dog. This includes the female dogs as well. If you get a toy that doesn't hold up and they destroy it, they're going to ingest it. I know this from experience. If they ingest it, it could be very bad, and it could be deathly to them. They could get blockage, and it could take surgery to remove it, or it could kill them. So he takes constant supervision all the time. The little rope knots, or I say little, but even big rope knots. Paul unties them. The big knots that are in them, he unties them. And then he shreds them and eats them. He's done this before. He swallowed a whole rope knot before. Lucky for us, he threw it back up. I know that's gross, but that was lucky for us because it didn't require surgery. But it's that bite force that made that possible. So you have to watch out for everything you give them to chew on, because they're going to destroy it. Let's give you a bonus fact. A bonus fact is, if you look up their breed, some say they weigh 110 pounds, some say they weigh 120. And it's going to depend a lot on what lineage you get. Paul weighs 140 pounds. But they are not couch potatoes. They're not like an English Mastiff that just lays around and is kind of lethargic. They're not like that. They're athletes. They can outrun a German Shepherd. At the size they are, they outrun German Shepherds. They can jump 6-foot fences. They can climb walls. So that needs to be kept in mind for when they're in yards. They need to be supervised because they will escape. The good thing is their loyalty to you is they won't go far. They never really leave home because they're bonded to you. But they can get out. If another dog's in heat, guess where they're going? But that is good for chasing down predators. It's good for guarding. If something goes to get in your place, they'll be on it very quickly. If something's coming after you, they will be there in an instant because of how fast they are. But that also means they need lots of extra playtime. They need extra mental stimulation. They need to wear out the energy they have because, you picture a greyhound as fast as they run, well, they're built up with all that energy. This is the same thing. They're like athletes. They have to release that energy that they've got built up, because if not, they destroy your house. I did this video today because I'm kind of doing an experiment. I'll let you know the results of that experiment and on another video someday. The next video, I'm not sure what it's going to be. I know it's going to be released on Monday. This video will be released tomorrow, which is Friday. I've said it in previous videos, but I'll restate it in this one. Our videos are released on Monday and Friday. They release at 10 o'clock Central Time. I don't know what the next video is going to be about. Could be Cane Corsos. Could be, who knows, it could be about my mom's little Yorkie. Could be about dogs, could be about life, could be, who knows. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to cut this one off for this. Hope you liked the video. Hope you learned something from the video. Let us know what you want to see in future videos. Put it in the comments. So I'm going to cut this one off. So with Life with Paul, we wish you a good day. Watch for the life lessons, learn from the lessons, and be the best version of you the world has ever seen.